Joining me now in the studio is Captain Toby McSwain of the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office. He is the commander of the Southern Division over enforcement, but he also worked closely with the sheriff, the town of Hilton Head, and Beaufort County to move their offices on Hilton Head Island to a brand new location. Thanks for joining us today, Captain McSwain.
Thank you for having me.
Now, where is the new building?
We're located at 58 Shelter Cove Lane. A lot of people may remember the building as the Lifespan building, but it's the end of the Shelter Cove area.
Right. Now, how does it compare to your old building? Your old building was on Lagoon Road. What are some of the differences in the two?
Well, we went from about 8,500 square feet to almost 18,000 square feet. It's centrally located for the residents, which it's a plus for us, and it's also better for the officers, for the men and women who serve the southern part of the county. If we had a case where we picked up an individual maybe on the north end, we would have to drive all the way south to our office to turn around to drive all the way back off the island. So it's location-wise, it's very good location for us.
Right. How did the opportunity to get the new building come about?
Well, it didn't happen overnight. Myself, along with the sheriff, town officials, we have been looking for a new spot for the sheriff's office for probably a little over 3 years. And I could probably safe to say that we probably have looked at every vacant piece of property, commercial real estate on Hilton Head. And when this opportunity came up, it turns out to be a very good fit for us.
What makes it such a good fit? Is it like a lot bigger? It's a much bigger space. So does that make the deputies' jobs easier, having more room?
It is. The deputies' room at our old location was about 900 square feet. They now have 3,000 square feet for shift briefings. We're in the process of working with architects. We're going to have a holding facilities. We're going to have 2 wet cells along with a dry cell, so that we can bring prisoners in. They'll have a safe place that we can secure them. It's a professional atmosphere. The men and women who serve this part of the county like the building. It's a very nice space, and it's to the point that we almost have to kind of run them out of the building because it's so nice that they just want to stay there. But it's a great location. You
mentioned a wet cell. What is that?
Well, that's not everybody that we bring into the facility is cooperative. Some make a mess, so we have the ability to go in and actually hose the area down afterwards, so that's why we refer to it as a wet cell.
Oh, very nice. Okay. So you didn't have any of those services in your old building?
No. The last, since I've been here 23 years, the last locations that we've occupied, with exception of the fire department at Palmetto Dunes, have always been rented space, so it's not been conducive for us to be able to go in and set up holding cells in a facility that we're renting. Now that the town of Hilton Head owns this building, having a place to properly store and handle the prisoners is a great benefit for us.
Great. Do you have more plans for the building in the future?
Well, the current project that we're working with the town architect is to design the holding cells. It has to be approved through the South Carolina Department of Corrections, and so that's where we're at this stage. It's probably going to take, I would guess, about 6 months to get the holding cells built, get them occupied with officers or staff with officers, and then we'll start utilizing them.
Great. How does that? Why is it important for Hilton Head to have holding cells?
Well, I mean, our business is not always on the positive note. People get arrested, and we have to have a proper location to secure them. By having a facility that's built with a jail standard, we can bring them in, place them there. It would allow the officer at that point to go back on the road and be in service. Right now, when an officer makes an arrest, that individual is out probably about 2.5 hours from the point of arrest, driving to Beaufort, a booking process, and driving back to their area of responsibility is about 2.5 hours that we lose that individual. Now they'll be able to drive to their 58 Shelter Cove Lane, bring the prisoner in, drop that individual off, and go back into service.
Fantastic. So you're going to have more deputies on the road here at any one time?
Well, the plan is to have more deputies in service, and not have to have that where we have someone that's made an arrest, they're en route to Beaufort, now someone else has made an arrest, now we've got 2 individuals that are basically transporting prisoners to Beaufort, and they're basically out of service at that point because they're not answering calls for service. So it's we're hoping that our productivity is going to pick up.
Fantastic. Is there room to grow at the new building?
The current space, if I'm not mistaken, is about 23,000 square feet in total. Now we do share the space with we have a dentist on one end and a chiropractor on the other. So in the event down the road that those spaces become available, it would offer the opportunity for us to be able to expand.
Does the Sheriff's Office have any opportunities for members of the community to volunteer their time at the Hilton head office?
Yes, that's a great question. We are currently recruiting applicants for volunteers. When someone from the public calls into our office, actually they're speaking to a volunteer. So we currently have spaces available for someone who would like to come in and work a 4-hour shift. I mean, they answer the telephones, they wait on the public when they come in, and you can contact my office and we'll provide you with an application.
Great. What's the number they need to call?
255-3300.
Thank you so much, Captain McSwain, for being here with me today. This week's pet of the week is Strawberry. Strawberry is a sweet kitten who was found at the Tanger outlet. She was about 11 weeks old when she was found with her siblings. To adopt Strawberry, call the Hilton Head Humane Association at 843-681-8686. Thank you so much for being with us today. That's all the time we have for the Hilton Head News. I'm Angela McSwain.